Comedy legend Frank Skinner is back on stage with his first stand-up show in 4 years.
I think a man of my age saying my girlfriend is sort of on a level with a man of my age saying my skateboard.
Live in London this June, at the Edinburgh Festival in August, and touring across the country this autumn.
It's what I would call an Elton John joke. It's a little bit funny.
Book tickets now at frankskinnerlive.com.
This is Frank Skinner. This is
Absolute Radio.
This suggests I'm about to read something out. What do you think?
I think you've got in your hand a letter.
Yeah, I spoke this morning with the German Chancellor, Herr Hitler. And,
how was he?
It was awkward, actually. The whole thing was awkward.
Was it #all?
Hard man to relax around. Anyway,
even when he's with his dog?
Yeah, this is the Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. Text the show on 81215. Oh, go on. Follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at Frank on the Radio. The Cumberland sausage symbol. And email the show via the Absolute Radio website. There you have it.
Good stuff.
We're just swapping our beverages.
That's okay.
Jack had Jill's.
Is that like sharing a needle?
Jack had Jill.
Jack had Jill's. It was just the wrong way round, but it's all fine now.
It is. We've bounced back, haven't we?
What happened to... Which is more unsafe for Jack and Jill?
True.
Oh, yeah.
We don't know what happened to them. We just we know about there was a unplanned descent.
Yeah.
Oh, Frank. I've just seen on our Twitter the boss of Absolute went to see your show.
Oh, yes.
All right.
He did,
He
yeah.
absolutely loved it, appropriately enough. It's a masterclass from the best in the business. Wow.
When you are good.
Sorry, Al.
That's all right.
Shouldn't have said that, should he, when you're on the same show? Also, what's Manfred going to say?
Yeah.
He's on Sundays. He's opened a can of worms there, the boss.
Absolutely.
You know what I like is the way Frank makes it sound like you all work down the mines. He's on Sundays, Manfred.
We're all stable, mates, aren't we?
Indeed.
We got Ford on the...
Yeah, you've got forward on Saturdays.
The stand-ups all over the place on Absolute Radio.
Yeah. Beckett's not here anymore. Someone said, will no one rid me of this meddlesome breeze?
Exactly, and he's gone.
Yeah.
Beckett's not here anymore with the sort of thing they must have said at the National Theatre. So what? Have we had any outside world news?
Well,
I start whittering on about me, as I'm
I do
trying
a
to do.
Friday night trawl. I looked through the emails that arrive on Friday night. Here's one. Frank Allen and the Divine Miss M.
Arrive.
I did say arrive.
Did you do? Is that a Yorkshire thing?
No, it's just me messing about.
Oh, I thought that might be that did arrive on time, Davos.
Was it a sort of, what was that thing on that darts programme? Coming up after break, Lasses Arras.
Yeah.
Which was the ladies' darts.
There was, that was Freddie Truman hosting.
Something shot?
No, it was called Indoor League. Indoor League. Now then, there was an American playing darts, American guy called, I'll tell you, it'll come in the intro.
Okay.
And his pawn was, will Conrad Daniels yank himself back into the lead? Let's find out. Is yank acceptable?
Think so.
Can you still say that?
Yeah, I think so.
Hold on.
Yeah, check the A5.
No, it looks all right.
It's fine, isn't it?
It's all right. I wouldn't.
Don't read any of the stuff that isn't.
No, God.
Good. So here's the email. Frank Allen and the Divine Miss M, long-term reader who looks forward to the podcast dropping into my phone every Saturday afternoon. Any further praise redacted? Good. This evening I'm watching an old episode of Taskmaster from Series 1. Brackets, the best series
Hold on. There were other series?
Yeah. The best series by a country mile, thanks to the presence of Frank. So the praise not fully redacted.
Praise this morning.
That sneaked in, that was.
Yeah. To my amazement.
Like when you get one of those... sometimes I'm putting a pair of trousers on and I see a laundry ticket... safety pin. I've been wearing them for like 3 days. Just tucked away in there. That's how this praise is working.
Yeah.
It's also a little bit stray chive in an omelette. They sneak in, Frank.
Stray chive in an omelette. Anyway, carry on. How you doing? Well,
To my amazement, in episode 2, Frank is wearing a beautiful green, blue and gold striped tie, which I also own.
What?
It's my favourite tie, M&S, I believe, and I often wear it to important meetings.
My favourite tie. There must be a website called that.
I've also been a huge fan of Frank since reading his autobiography in my teens, but this is the first time that I feel we have something in common,
No,
and I couldn't help but feel very happy about this.
There's a definite tie between us. Well, one thing you have to do on that show is wear the same clothes every week so they can move stuff about if
do you?
they need to.
Oh, yeah.
So it turned out I had a grey suit. I had it twice, the same grey suit.
Oh.
Bit of a mix-up.
Oh.
So I had to go for the grey suit because, I mean, that would have been crazy not to.
Yeah.
And then I found out that if you weren't able to double up like that, they bought you 2 suits.
Oh.
I'd already told them I'd got 2 the same.
Ah.
Do you know I still lie awake thinking about it?
Yeah.
You know when you've missed out on something like, oh
Yeah.
man, horrible.
Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
Frank, can I just tell you, one of our readers has sent in something which I feel is too good not to share, it's Amy Foster, who says, following on from the Spider-Man, spider eye holes, spider eyelids discussion last week, there's an article regarding spiders having paws, which I thought might be of interest. It reminded me a bit of your bedbug beak revelation. Enjoy.
Oh, bedbug beak.
And there really is quite an extraordinary story here about these adorable paws the spider has.
But is it not every spider?
No, I believe the spiders all have them.
If you got a big enough microscope, you'd find
Yeah.
a lovely little furry, soft paw.
Absolutely lovely.
What did we
they
think
are.
that they had before that? Just sort of stumps, like their legs ended.
I
Yeah,
thought
that's
they were
what I
horrible,
thought.
spindly needle legs.
Yeah, that's
Feet?
what I thought.
Did we think they had hands?
Points on the end.
Right,
Well, they
yeah.
climb walls.
I've
Yes.
seen
So
that.
it's
yeah.
suckers or points. Them's your choices.
It's not visible to the human eye, so we'd have to get the microscopes out.
God, I'm still using the human eye.
Yeah, I must say I've become very dependent on the human
Yeah.
eye for
You need
vision.
to get your microscopes out. Okay.
It was, I met a bloke who was, I say I met a bloke, he was in the front row at my gig. That was the only people I meet nowadays.
You're
Yeah.
rinsing the front row.
And he worked at, what's the eye hospital called? Famous eye hospital.
Moorfields.
Yeah, he worked there, yeah.
Oh, eyes make me sick.
Oh.
Yeah.
Always have done.
And he was this was where, he was an anaesthetist,
It's
Yeah.
easy for you to say.
yeah. Which gave me a chance to say, oh, it's not often I get to talk to an anaesthetist. Well, not for very often, not for very long. I'll never use that again.
Don't know about that.
Oh, well, what's the chance of an anaesthetist? In
Never
the
say
audience?
never.
Yeah, I am the anaesthetist. That's my bill matter. What about that, Frank Skinner, the anaesthetist? It's a sort of a downplaying thing.
Yeah.
Have we got more outside the world, or do you want to hear about my life?
Oh, yes, I would. Can I also...
Both can be true, I think.
Could I do a quick thank you as well to my
Sure.
colleagues? Just to say thank you for my pre-birthday present.
Oh, I said sure there, as if you were going to thank a member of the public, and now I realise I was
Well,
like,
I mean,
sure, yeah,
they're
thank
free
us.
to send them in. I have
Go on, thank us. Don't interrupt her when
Sorry.
she's thanking
called
us.
Je m'appelle Fabulous. Thank
Yeah.
you very much.
Nice.
A blanket. sort of
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sure.
Is fabulous, does that feature in the French language as a word? Could it possibly be Je m'appelle Fabuleux?
Fabulous.
Yes, I believe you're right. There probably is. It's accented or something.
Yeah,
Fabuleux.
I wonder if it is the fabulous
Yes.
like we say. Anyway, if there's
It
any
tends to say
French speakers.
merveilleux.
Oh, yeah.
So
If
also,
there's any French speakers at 12:15,
Call me.
do the French pronounce it fabuleux or something like that, or is it just fabulous, or does it not even exist in their language?
I'm pretty sure it
can I
exists
say
in
what
there.
presents I got?
Yeah.
And then I got a pink blanket with Divine Miss M on it. Then I got a phone case with a picture of my dog Ray. Finally,
Well.
I got a Doctor Who figurine from Frank Skinner of the pirate captain,
Bruce Purchase.
who's an old family friend of ours, which is a lovely memento to remember him.
So not everyone has got an action figure of an old family friend. I mean, it's fairly unusual.
Niche.
Yeah.
Niche.
Yeah, so it's a brilliant, it's a brilliant Doctor Who episode, and the pirate captain.
I think that's really why you got it.
So something I'll never find out.
No, but we spoke of it, and when I found out that Emily knew Bruce Purchase, you could have knocked me down with Rick Waller.
It was like
Starstruck
on the
you
end
were.
of some sort of hawser.
It was like I
Starstruck.
said I was friends with Daniel Craig.
Yeah, oh God, it was better than that. Yeah, brilliant. But it's a perhaps we should send a picture of Emily with the Bruce Purchase action figure. When I say send the picture, I mean
Instagram.
Instagram.
It is really grammable.
Instagram. About that.
I mean, I'd say it's quite specialist interest on the ground front, but you know what?
We can
That's why
hashtag
I
that.
love it.
We can
Exactly.
hashtag it specialist interest.
Yeah, is that a good idea?
Yeah.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Deborah Hockey has been in touch to confirm Fabuleuse with an X at the end.
Oh.
Yes.
If it's got an X, isn't that O?
Fabuleux.
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 I thought an
Fabuleux.
X was O, like
It's like a
tableau.
Michelle Thomas CD now, isn't it?
is,
Fabuleux.
yeah. Except
Fabuleux.
with Michel Thomas, who I've listened to all his French.
Have you?
He says, Je vais, I'm on my way. That's one of his. But also, he's got the dentures that don't quite fit. So you get a lot of that going on. I had a dog that used to do that. He'd be sitting watching the telly
Dog
or
had
something.
dentures.
Well, he just did that a lot. So he'd sit, and if there was a quiet bit, you'd hear. And he used to, shut up. Like, how can you stop him doing that?
Yeah, true.
Obviously, not in elastic bands, but I felt that was wrong.
That's so cruel, Frank.
I didn't do
Yeah.
it. It's speculation.
Yeah.
I had a
Just an image.
letter
Yeah.
from Darren Garnham. Darren, who spells his name with two A's.
Oh, yeah.
Not an E.
Really?
Ian, but I had never seen that before.
Sounds
And
like a typo,
Darren
Darren.
Garnham sent me a present for my 7-year-old child. And it's I'll give you a clue. See if you can... shut your eyes.
Radio clue.
Okay.
Radio clue, here goes.
Greetings. I am Buzz Lightyear, Space Ranger, Universe Protection Unit.
Who do you think? What do you think it is?
Is it a sort of a stretchy version of Bruce Grobbelaar from? No, I'm just guessing.
No, it is. It's
Buzz Lightyear.
It's a Bruce. A Bruce Lightyear.
Bruce Lee.
It's a
Bruce
Buzz,
Lee's
Buzz
changed.
Lightyear. Actually, Bruce Lightyear would be it's quite a name I quite like. Or Brusque Lightyear. It's very off with
yeah.
people.
Yeah.
It turns out, and to be fair to Darren, he says, I am not, and I am not is in block capitals.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I mean, I'll find it out, and then I'll turn my headphones down. I'm not expecting any promotion of anything else from this letter and package. Okay. Well, thanks. But he's a Tottenham fan, and my son is a Tottenham fan. And also, get this, I don't quite understand what this means, but Darren's job is making Star Wars. Not Star Wars. Toy Story toys.
Right.
What does that mean? Making them.
What do you mean?
Assembling.
Does he mean he's on a
Designing?
line? Is he standing on
Yeah, presumably.
is there
I
a...
think he sent you the
He's in-
protest.
Is there a conveyor belt and he puts one piece on, like when they used to make cars
Maybe.
in the 70s?
I think there's mainly a lot of robots involved in that now, but he might be involved in the manufacture of it in some way.
I mean, he might... it'd be interesting to know, Darren. Anyway, he's a Tottenham fan. He sent
Darren.
one. Do you remember Mauricio Pochettino?
Yes.
Who,
Oh, yeah.
who wrote an
Yeah.
autograph of my son that says, "My best friend is you."
I'd
do.
forgotten that part.
Yeah.
I love that.
Well, he
Yeah,
sent
it's
him.
really
He
nice.
sent because he's a Tottenham fan. He sent him one. He's got a picture of Pochettino with Buzz Lightyear on his desk, and he says, "It's my secret weapon," is what Pochettino says. So that was a result for a Tottenham fan.
Wow,
So anyway, thank you, Darren. My son, who is called Buzz, in case anyone's wondering what the connection was, He'll love it, absolutely love it. But it does take me
That's great.
into that we did. We went to see Toy Story 4 this week. Have you caught it yet?
I haven't
No,
yet.
I haven't.
I'm excited though.
2 was the last time I checked in, love.
Before we go any further, can I just? There's. I don't want to do spoilers, but obviously there's baddies in everyone, and the baddies include a group of I think it's 4 ventriloquist dummies who are always a bit sinister. But these ventriloquist dummies, they're moving about on their own, of their own volition. They could not look more like Jimmy Carr if they had been based on him. I mean, I don't mean a little. I mean, as soon as they came on screen, I thought, is that legal to do? I mean, it's a fleet of cars, basically.
I can't wait to see.
I mean, is this on the? It must be on the internet. It must.
Really?
Other
Oh, let's
people.
I think it's
have a
a
look.
meme already.
I mean, I don't mean a bit like Jimmy Carr, but I mean, I wondered if it could possibly be Jimmy Carr.
Wow.
I mean, incredible. But if you've seen the film, I'm sure you'll know what I mean. But I'll come back. There's more.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
You were talking about Toy Story, which
Indeed.
you...
Buzz Lightyear.
Can I ask, who's your favourite ever Toy Story character?
Oh, I'd be really Route 1 and go for Buzz Lightyear or Woody.
Yeah, I'd have to go. I feel an obligation to go for.
You've
but
got
I
to go
don't-
Buzz.
Oh, do you know I have this
I'm
weird thing?
lots of Huggins Bear.
Oh,
best
really?
villain ever created.
Yeah.
Best villain ever. Love that bear.
I'll tell you what the villain I didn't
Scary,
like
though.
in Toy Story.
Go
You know,
on.
the boy next door
Oh.
who used to break toys and put their
yeah.
heads
Oh.
on. That was disgusting.
Disgusting.
That nearly put Buzz off Toy Story films forever, though. It was really something very dark and awful about it.
Right.
I occasionally get, I don't get crushes anymore at my age on people, but I do tend to get them on inanimate objects.
Oh, yeah.
Or, fictional
Yeah.
beings.
Hey, it's a
you
thing.
Remember, it
It's a
was...
thing.
Well, I'll tell you who these we have loved, Frank. I always keep a note of your crushes, just FYI.
Right.
There was the man in the Social Network, Jesse.
Oh, yes, Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah, you had a,
Yes.
right.
a lovely
He was,
feeling for
yeah.
him.
That's a good one to bring up. It's Pride Weekend, ladies and gentlemen. We should all explore what's in there, in the back rooms of our consciousness.
You think?
And I liked Ray from Star Wars, but not the human being, the Lego version.
Yes.
I mean, I like the human being, but
Yeah.
I mean, there was something very tantalising about the life-size Lego one in Hanley's. I also like the tiger from Kung Fu Panda, if you remember.
I do remember that.
Cheers.
But Bo Peep in this new film is
Something else.
Yeah,
Really? Next level?
yeah, exactly. I mean, really,
Next level cartoon
I think
crush.
it's partly she looks great, but also,
It's not like she's on Love Island.
what she is for me, I think. If I did Love Island, it would be me and some Lego.
If you did Love Island, I think that would be the best moment of my life. Can you
you
imagine
imagine?
Frank
Quite
walking
the
into the
booking.
villa
Quite the
and
booking.
coming up? Here he is, Frank, by the pool. He'd keep his suit. No, he'd have like a Doctor Who hoodie on.
Yeah.
Standing in the heat, sweating.
Oh, but what if I took my top off on there? It'd be so awful. Oh, man. It'd be like Ben Kingsley in Gandhi. But I think with Bo Peep also, it's a biblical occupation, the shepherdess.
Oh,
Ah, yeah.
yes, that's true.
Can you still call them shepherdesses? If there's any people who are in on the PC thing, do we just? Is it like
Not in the
actors and
A5 booklet
actresses?
there? You not got that in the
You
A5
know,
booklet?
I'm a
You know what?
Shepherd/shepherdess.
I actually looked in the break, and there's no shepherdess. It's not foolproof, the book.
No,
I'm
it's
having
good.
a look at her, and she seems to have two looks, Bo Peep. There's a Scarlett O'Hara Gone with the Wind vibe, and then a sort of slightly funky Jean vibe.
Well, in the new one, she basically casts the outer skirt to one side, and she operates in pantaloons.
Oh, bit of a jumpsuit vibe.
I know it's there's but like I say, it's not. Some people get Bo Peep mixed up with Mary Had.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. They're not pets, Bo Peeps. I mean, she's a working woman. They're colleagues.
I'm glad you defended her.
Yeah. Mary Had a Little Lamb. That's just that's a pet she's got. She's not working with it. But yeah, so she does. Those sort of frilled pantaloons that they wear under like crinolines. She operates in those. Very. It's an unusual move. She carries it off. She's slightly androgynous. I'd say that Bo Peep from Toy Story 4 has something of Donatello's David.
Really?
About it. You don't know where.
That's what all the critics are saying.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, I'm sorry to just churn out that old one. But she's tantalising, Bo Peep.
Can I ask if Mary had? I take your point. That was a pet-based interaction. Where does Little Miss Muffet stand?
With the spider?
Yes. I mean, is that more of a friends with benefit arrangement?
Well, I don't think. I think it's
with its paws, climbing it, putting its filthy paws all over her.
It's an assault, isn't it? She's just sitting eating, and then the spider appears. She doesn't own the spider. Can anyone own a spider? Well, it's an interesting philosophical debate. I would say not.
Well, I don't know. I would like to now. Now I've seen the paws.
Well, yeah. Let's not do a pause for thought.
Oh, go on.
No, I will. I won't do it.
I felt like
I will not. But it's. I would say. Do you remember that? If only now we could play Paul McCartney and Wings with Mary Had a Little Lamb.
Yeah.
They had a top 10 chart with Mary Had a Little Lamb.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Mary had a little lamb. It was it. It wasn't a variation. It was it. They sang it. They sang that and it got in the charts. Different times, ladies and gentlemen.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
There I am. I've looked up. I'm at Toy Story 4. Ball's come into the box. And so we went to one of these lovely Everyman cinemas. You know?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Called Everyman, but the opposite of that, 'cause they're quite expensive. And you get like a sofa to yourself, and they come and bring your food to your seats. You know those kind of cinemas?
Oh, it's lovely. You feel like you're at Friends, a generous friend.
Well, it's great if you've got a child with you, because they like to have a little chat during the film, if you know what I mean. So
why is he doing that? What's that mean?
Yeah,
You know when they do the
exactly. But we had a massive. The biggest box of that they had of sweet popcorn to share.
Okay.
And then we're waiting for the film. So I reach for suddenly my wrist is taking a vice-like grip. And Buzz says that we can't eat it till the film starts. No one ever told me that, as a rule.
Oh, I finished it before the film starts normally.
Yeah, well, I'm well in by the time the film starts. I mean,
So
I
I've
find
heard.
it the most. Once you get into the rhythm of box to mouth, I mean, it never stops. It's like, those birds that you can get that sort of keep drinking. They got like a weight on the back.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, it reminded me. I went with my brother-in-law Jack to Avengers Endgame.
Oh, yeah.
And I got the old.
Sorry about that.
Gets to see a lot of stuff, doesn't he?
Oh,
He loves the cinema.
Got to be out and about while I still can, before I need the ramp. So I got a big box of popcorn. I think Jack paid. To be fair, I ordered, and
I like that you think that's some sort of contribution.
and I was just.
Yeah, well done, you.
I was just reaching for it. Well,
Generosity.
I'll tell you why he needed my help, because we sat down and I reached across and he said, "You know what? I've never had popcorn in a cinema before." And of course, I then had to sit thinking, well, why would that be? There's only one reason, isn't it? Because he's a massive film buff.
Oh.
And obviously the noise of popcorn. So luckily it was it was Avengers Endgame and not
really noisy.
84 Charing Cross Road. So there was some noisy bits, where I could. So I only hit on the action scenes, but I got very tense about it. It did make me think. Why on earth did they choose that as the default cinema snack when it's one of the loudest
and messiest? Like
Yes.
it's such a work thing for the people that have to tidy up after that
Yeah,
film.
and they
where
need a
It's better than-
machine
it's
as well.
ridiculous.
The actual
hang
box
on a
office,
second.
they need a machine.
I don't agree. Firstly, infinitely preferable to chocolate. I would say the amount of
Not as a
stains
food
you're going to
stuff,
get.
I
No,
would
here,
disagree.
please let me speak.
Hey, come on, guys.
Okay.
We're all friends here.
Imagine if we fell out over that. Frank, also, I would say I don't experience the noise so much with the popcorn. Do you really? Can you hear people eating it?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Well, I have that.
Really, the chomping.
I have that thing where, some people get angry if they hear people eat.
I do.
I have that misophonia. So
Misophonia.
I think it's going to become a thing.
What do you do with the unpopped?
I don't eat popcorn, and I'd be
Oh.
quite happy to never eat it
I've
ever
had a
again.
tooth out.
When you
it
get to
loosened a crown once.
When you
It
get to
loosened
the
my crown.
bottom and you find the unpopped, I mean, it's like someone's put ball bearings in it.
It dislodged a crown.
Yeah?
My crown.
When we were at Toy Story 4, I had Buzz just kept handing me in the dark the unpopped. So I had a handful of about 9 or 10 of them.
Did you do it on purpose?
Yeah, he was
Little prank.
He was just and
Nice.
I thought I did for a moment think of taking them out and popping them,
In a microwave?
just popping them on their own.
Oh,
The
yeah.
way you're calling them the unpop, like the deplorable.
They're a band. The Unpopped.
Well, I was once stopped.
The great unwashed.
I was once stopped on the South Bank by an interviewer who was doing a science thing, and he asked me my thoughts on evolution. And I said, why are there any chimpanzees? Why are there chimpanzees who haven't developed into human beings? Is it like the unpopped that you get in pop? He looked like thought I was a blithering idiot.
This is Frank Skinner. This is
Absolute Radio.
I've got another email that I'd like to bring to your attention.
Can I say something first?
Sure, of course you can. Your
I-
name's on the door.
Earlier
Lovely relationship you two have.
Earlier in the show on the main channel, Absolute, I played "It's a Kind of Magic" by Queen. By Queen. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you noticed, but I laughed quite a lot through it. There's something do you ever get songs, and I don't mean comedy songs, I mean some songs that really make you laugh? I don't know what is funny about It's a Kind of Magic, but there's something hilarious about it.
Yeah.
There's an Elvis song called Rags to Riches,
Yes.
and he starts off, and there's quite a big note at the beginning. And when you've got a big note, I don't know if you ever sang a big note, but there's a temptation, if you think you're not going to make it, to just really shout. And Elvis, who obviously is capable of a big note, and in this song, I can't do this into the mic, he'll go, I go from Rex, and it kills me. Every time I hear it, it kills me.
I have a particular moment on a specific, funnily enough, it is the Joseph soundtrack.
Oh, yeah.
And it's an actor really building his part up. He only sings one thing in the entire soundtrack, but he's obviously like, this is my big moment. And he says, we can see the Sphinx. And he shouts the line so loudly.
Oh.
And you can't recover. Everyone else's voices just go into the background.
Someone told me that they were working on Les Miserables.
Oh,
Oh,
name
yes.
is?
And they had an actor in, an actor-singer, and in the rehearsals, they save their voice a bit.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he would go sort of, oh, you can hear the people sing. And he would go, you can hear the people high note singing a
I love
song
it.
of angry. And that's what he'd do. He'd just say high note
High
and not
note.
do it. I mean, that takes
I like
confidence. That
When
does-
we do the rehearsal of this show, I quite often
Yeah.
say Alan joke.
Yeah,
Alan jokes here.
Yeah, that'd be good. You should do that.
Time-consuming rehearsing this every week,
If
isn't
only
it?
Elvis had gone, you know I'd go for a high note. Rags to riches. Anyway, what serious songs make you laugh? 8, 12, 15.
Anything Mark Armand sings.
Does that make you laugh?
I just think there's something so fabulous about his voice because he tries to be quite earnest and intense and high drama, but I find him quite a comical character. Tainted Love makes me laugh.
Doesn't it?
It really makes me laugh.
Tainted Love's great. I love Tainted Love.
But I love it, but there's something
but
funny.
they're not mutually exclusive. I
No.
think you can
Yeah,
like the
you
song.
can like it.
I like Rags to Riches by
What
Elvis.
about when he says, I'm sorry I don't parade that way?
So we're all laughing.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
We've got somebody's come up with a song that makes them laugh,
Oh, yeah.
which is something Frank mentioned, which I love as a subject because I have so many. I also have E17 Stay Another Day
Funny.
because he pronounces it, is it Brian Harvey, I think? He pronounces it throw it all away instead of
Oh.
throw. And I love that no one corrected him during the recording, possibly because they were too frightened of him.
Maybe.
Sheila Edwards says, Bob Dylan, now you'll have to help me on this because I'm less familiar with his back catalogue.
Okay.
Lily, Rosemary and the Jack of Hearts.
Oh yeah, from
The harmonica at the beginning reduces me to giggles.
well, the harmonica is a I mean, that's something else because an actor once said to me they were in a play for over a year, and I said it must be very difficult to keep that. He said the important thing is that you do every line as if you've never done it before. That's what you have to constantly strive for, every line. That is the approach that Bob Dylan has taken to the harmonica. Bob Dylan there's an element of homeless man who's found a harmonica in a bin and he's experimenting with it. But I love that about it because I've listened to Bob Dylan for over 40 years. And I've listened from his very earliest work to his current stuff. And I see no sign of improvement in the harmonica at all. It's like a willful flatline that it's adopted of harmonica playing. But it's so distinctive that I've grown to love it.
Frank, another one that makes me laugh is Tight Fit in the Jungle.
How does that go?
In the jungle.
Oh, that one.
Oh, the falsetto on that just makes me
Well,
laugh.
the one, I think it's, this is not the original, but the one I grew up with was the Carl Denver Trio singing that one. And that's got a
is
really...
that a cover?
Well, I think it's a South African folk song originally.
Oh.
But he really, they go to places that the human voice you wouldn't think could go.
David Pawsey says, hi Frank, when I was at college 25 years ago, there was a cash point machine that made the same noise as the boop boop technical term in Tainted Love. Obviously, I had to do it in time and sing it in my head every time, which made me chuckle.
I think I may have mentioned on here before, I used to go out with a woman who lived on Seven Sisters Road in North London. And there was a dog that, yes, I stayed over sometimes. And there was, in the morning, there used to be a local dog that used to bark what sounded like it was going to be the American national anthem.
Star Spangled Banner.
So it would go, that it would bark, that was how it barked. And I couldn't hear it without going, da-na, da-na-na. And I'll be honest, he wasn't really in my key.
Oh, that's a shame.
But I had to complete.
You reach for it.
It's exactly. I don't know I wonder if anyone's ever worked out what key their dog barks in.
Well, I'd love to know. My dog, as you know, doesn't bark.
Does he not bark at all?
No, he's never barked in his life.
What if you...
Missing out.
I want to keep him... No.
What if you saw a cat in the garden?
I made it... He'd run for his life.
Really?
I mean, I made it very clear. The ground rules were set the minute he came in. No, we don't do that.
Okay.
He tried to bark and I just said that and he's never done it since.
When I was...
I think that happened with me and Kat. Sorry, Al.
Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
I'll tell you what, Frank, you've lit up the switchboard a bit with your... are there any serious songs that make you laugh?
Yeah, it's a very strange phenomenon, don't you think? I find it hard to say why. When I used to watch The Fall live a lot, I've seen them many, many times, and I love The Fall, and I love Marquis Smith, but I did used to laugh more at those gigs than I did at most stand-up gigs.
Right.
And I don't know why exactly. It's just something about him. But this is just the songs themselves. What are other people's offers?
Well, 498 has not so much contributed on the songs that make people laugh, but a thing that Emily pointed out, that Brian Harvey pronouncing fro on the East 17 song.
And also it's a very moving ballad about losing someone. He goes, where'd you go? And throw it all away.
Well, 498 has pointed
Is it a
out...
Cockney
Stay
thing?
now. Yes,
Yeah,
I believe
just-
it's...
Well, they can be sad too.
sloppy speaking. But 498 has
not
pointed
really.
out the fact that I was aware of. It's rare that I know any pop trivia, but the Gorillaz song Dare was originally called There, but every time Shaun Ryder sang it, it came out as Dare, so they gave up and renamed the song.
I'm going to nominate
yeah.
that.
Good info
I'm
from
going to
Simon
have to nominate that for a big mo, I'm afraid.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I think
It's
that might be borderline.
Fine?
No, it's a big mo.
It's a
Fine.
big-ish mo.
Fine? Fine?
Oh,
No, it's fine.
Oh, come
Absolutely
on.
fine.
is
Hey,
that...
come on.
Ow. Is,
No,
that,
but I mean, come on.
is that a me type of fine or a regular fine? It's a bit Emily Dean, that fine.
Yeah, but
that's
I was
fine.
trying to think of a song. I think it's Neil Diamond, where he's talking about being on his own in a hotel, and he walks into the room and he says something along the lines of "No one was there," and then he adds "Not even a chair."
Oh, yes.
Every time I hear that, I laugh because
Can I say any Neil Diamond song?
Ellie is
I was-
fine, the sun shines most of the time. Is it? Oh, no, I am, I said.
that's it.
what
And I
is.
love the song.
Yes.
Not even a chair makes me laugh every single time I hear that.
No one there and no one heard at all. Not even the chair.
What, chairs have got hearing now, Neil?
You're not even the chair. You'd expect to hear everything.
Even the chair hasn't shown up for me this time.
That's
Yeah.
you'd think, well, if anyone here's here, it'd be the chair. I mean,
Chair's normally so reliable.
once you go into the world of inanimate furniture and things, hearing, why is the chair? Is that because we have more contact with the chair and not, we got some sort of empathy?
Lovely song, but strange lyrics.
Well, there's another strange chair one. Rod Stewart. Do you know
Oh,
that?
yes.
Baby, I hate to tell you, but I think I'm catching a cold. Put another chair on the fire, bring a bottle of, and you think, no.
Hang on.
Oh, what's
chair?
this? What is it,
What
right?
are we going to sit on? We burn
Yeah.
all the chairs for fuel.
Is it about the summer riots of
Yeah.
76 or something? Yeah, put another chair on the fire. Another
about-
chair as well.
Frank, what?
It's not like something I thought, so bad we're going to put a chair on the fire. Put another one on.
If I went over to yours and I said, oh, yeah, just put that chair on the fire, you'd be absolutely
I
furious.
would, especially if it was my designer chair, which I found out was worth like $3,000.
I told
Oh,
Frank
yeah.
it was worth a lot of money. What about I've Never Been to Me? Took the hand of a preacher man and we made love in the sun.
What?
Am I allowed to say that? Yes.
know.
Very,
Yeah.
very
Confession.
Fleabag. I've been undressed by kings and
And I've seen some things that a woman ain't supposed to see.
Yeah, I wonder what are they. I wonder if anyone's ever sung that who has been undressed by kings.
No.
It's like I always wonder if Prince Charles sings "I Just Can't Wait to Be King" around the house.
Frank Skinner,
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
We've actually
Love
had
it.
2 different Elton John recommendations just come in, who is amusing. 576 has said, "Hi Frank, the song that makes me laugh is Rocket Man by Elton John. When he claims it's just a job 5 days a week, I wonder if he flew home for weekends." Where was the other one? Oh, there it is. Morning all, the live version of Stan, the Dido/Eminem song they
Yeah.
had, helpfully, in brackets.
Yeah, but not everyone knows that.
Yeah, where Eminem brings out Elton John as special guest. Elton John appears to do his part in the style of Vic Reeves' pub singer, utterly comedic, but he seems to have got away with it.
Do you remember that duet that he did with Pete Doherty?
Elton John.
Yeah, and Pete Doherty was off key and all over the place.
Right.
He was at some big
Sounds like
do.
my Pete.
Yeah, it was some big do. I can't remember what it was.
And was Elton John all right?
Was it at?
No.
Yes.
Elton John was, as ever, in default furious mode.
I think it might have been at Live 8, Frank, when the Libertines... I may have got that wrong, but anyway. We also have... Did we give you the answer on popcorn in the cinemas, Frank? I can't remember.
I want to know that.
OK, 848...
My question, if you've just turned on, was that...
Minister.
If you tuned in and turned on, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, I saw Naomi Campbell post. There's a new...
She seems nice.
Fragrance, yeah.
Really lovely, friendly
I told
type.
you about that time at the Brits. I was sitting with Michelle Gale and heavyweight champion of the world Lennox Lewis at the
Of course you were.
And we had a message. A man came over and said, "I've got a message from Miss Campbell." I said, "Who's that?" He said, Naomi Campbell. I said, "Oh, right." He said, "This is her table." I said, "I know, there's a name thing there." He said, "No, but she doesn't want to share it, so she wondered if you guys would move to a different..." And I remember saying, with great indignation, "This is the heavyweight champion of the world." I remember saying that, like, "It's the heavyweight champion of the world, you can't..." Anyway, we wouldn't move.
I think that's absolutely reasonable in that everyone, as far as I can see on that table, has a skill,
Yeah.
a discernible skill.
Yeah.
Well, look, I think there is a skill to modelling. Because I've watched things like America's Next Top Model, and you get very beautiful women who can't quite do it. You'd agree with
Really?
this. You're from the fashion thing. But whoever you are, come and sit with... I'd be happy to sit with the heavyweight champion of the world in any context. Maybe not in some sort of
What
sauna.
happened then?
Not in a sauna.
Not in a
did she
sauna
come and
or a
sit-
Strange
or a
caveats.
group lavatory.
Strange caveats.
Did she come and... did she sit with you?
No, she went home. She didn't even stay at the Brits. She was so
wasn't that
furious.
committed to it.
Who do you think on that table, I can't imagine she didn't want to be seen with?
I think she just didn't want to share because she might have to talk to
Again,
someone
that
who
sounds
was
very unlike her,
from
not wanting
planet
to
Earth.
share.
But anyway, I saw a poster of her. She's got a new fragrance out, I think, which with a name I cannot say on breakfast radio.
What is it?
Really? Is it rude?
What do you mean, what is it? It's a big poster in a window that could be seen by families.
You can't say the name,
Really?
really?
And
Are you sure?
the bill matter on it, the stuff underneath was an icon turned on or something like that. And I thought,
Goodness me.
dear, come on.
Quite full on.
Stop that, I thought to myself as I went past. I mean, it was early when I went past this morning as well, Mm-hmm. Don't want to see that at 10 to 7.
What's it called? I can't wait
I
to
can't
find
tell
out.
you what
I'm
it's
not,
called.
Okay, I'm just thinking aloud.
I just wish people would just behave themselves. I wish that more than I wish anything.
Frank Skinner. Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
Well, I'll tell you a little about my week. I've had an up and down week, and I don't want to play to a stereotype that sometimes comes up about me on this show, but I've had an up and down week financially.
Oh, well.
There's
This is
been
Orcs, Frank.
it's
Hold
been.
on.
I can start with the good news if you want.
Don't start with the good news now I've said this. I'll stop it. Can I tell you something? I don't know how to stop it. But the
carry
producer
on.
has
Do
led
this.
as ever.
I'll do the sad news.
Do the
The
sad
producer, who I believe calls this her second job, has eventually raced to my aid.
Shade thrown.
I turned a corner on Saturday evening last week, and
Emotionally?
no, in the car,
Okay.
and
He's the only person that would literally mean that.
had a loss of battery charge. It came up with a sign saying power battery not charged or something.
Oh, yeah.
So I turned it into my street, and then the power steering went. And as you know, I'm incredibly strong from swinging kettlebells, but it was a struggle to pull the car in. And then I had to get like a 24-hour mechanic out to try and fix it. He couldn't do it on the Sunday, came and did it on the Monday.
You were damn lucky it was so near your house.
It was really close to my house that it went, but it was
Almost
some
like-
kind of
You know when
pulley
you get
thing.
home and you really want to go to the toilet suddenly?
Yeah.
It's almost
Yes.
like the car
Yes.
had that. Thought at last now I can let myself go.
Yeah. £331 English pounds that repair cost me on the Monday. Thank you. So like I say, that's the down part.
Yeah.
But the up part is I've had a couple of good bargains. So I don't know if you've got some happy music.
Lovely.
I think, well, let me see what I've got. Keep talking, I'll find some.
Okay.
On the way back from Shrewsbury, where I did a preview, I stopped off at the station service station.
Oh, the station service is good
Service La Station. And you know, a big bar of chocolate, you know, like a... You know, like, I'm going to say the brand. You know, Lindt, the large bars.
Oh, yeah.
You know, those large bars of
yeah.
chocolate. Mm. There was some of those next to the counter when I was buying a coffee. Big bars, reduced in a service station from £3.25, which is astronomical in the first place. They're about £2
Well, I was
going to
say, what's the originale?
But it was those. They were extra creamy, which isn't my choice. I would rather have dark chocolate, but it was a bargain. It had an orange sticker on it.
Probably only extra creamy because it was so hot.
Was that written in Sharpie pen, extra creamy?
No, that was the actual packaging.
Okay, now, and the man wrote it.
£3.25 was the starting price. Reduced down to, in one sticker...
Okay, what is it? Frank Skinner, what are you going to guess, please?
£1.
I'm going to go 75p.
Not like a Giant's Causeway of several reductions, like a step... Reduced £3.25
Okay.
to 20 pence.
Shut up.
How many did you buy?
2.
Okay.
There was only 3 there, and I had a friend that was right behind me.
Why
and
didn't
I
you buy
thought,
the 3?
Because I thought I'd better give somebody else the opportunity to get the bargain
And
as
also,
well.
would you be able to eat them in time? Because I assume
I
they've
ate
gone
them
off.
both on Monday.
Did you check the best before date?
Yeah,
it was this month, and it's chocolate. Who cares?
What was the Mark Selby?
To be honest, it's interesting that you said, did I check the best before date? Because recently I ate pate out of my fridge that had 10 days out of date on the packaging. And I just opened it and ate
Dicing
it.
with death, man.
I'll go 10 on non-meat or fish.
What are we talking about? I'd never
Days.
go anything.
Oh,
I'd
you're
never
crazy.
Go.
Well, yeah, I think they are.
Money
They're-
to burn.
They are conservative estimates. At
Yeah,
best,
absolutely.
the Best Buy. I mean, remember, it's Best Buy. I don't need to have something at its best.
Yeah. The rest of your life's not optimal, is it?
Nothing's 100% in life. I'm really happy to take something that, you know, is in its twilight years. I think that's fine. In fact, I'm threatened by things at their best.
Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
One of the ongoing themes this morning was some songs that make you laugh, kind of inadvertently. You know.
Songs that make you laugh. Ooh,
Yeah.
ooh, songs that make you laugh. Come on, everybody.
337. Ooh. Actually, that makes me laugh a bit, ironically.
I have a giggle and a half. Ooh, those songs that make me laugh.
Songs that make you laugh. How about Thin Lizzy? Tonight there's going to be a jailbreak somewhere in this town. Well, first off, I'd have a look at the prison, you know, just in case. That's from Ian Stewart Dootson, one of our regulars.
It's funny that, but people have very much taken this as like lyrics. But I was more. I mean, I like these, but I was talking about songs that there's something about the nature of the song that's intrinsically comic.
Yes.
Like it's a kind of magic. It's just there's no funny lyrics in that. It's just there's something. I don't know what it is. It makes me laugh.
Yes, no, I know what you mean. We've had another missive in, which is one for Al, isn't it, Al? Have you seen that from
We've had
245?
various pushback on my...
We've had a bit of pushback.
We've had a bit of pushback on my bargain chocolate.
Oh yeah.
376 has said, Alan, why didn't you get the third for your friend? Because it was 20 pence.
Yeah.
They weren't that close a friend. And
Have you perhaps said, "Oh no, you Alan"? We do.
245 has said, Alan, when I was about 12, I found king-size Mars bars in our local shop for 10p each. I bought 7. I gave one to my cousin and ate the others over that day and the next. Suffice to say, I've never eaten a Mars bar since.
A vital piece of information is missing from that text, which is the year in question.
Well, 10p each. I think we're going back some.
Well, I remember there was a campaign called Big Fry. Mm-hmm. And what Big Fry did was
Stephen Fry, cellmates.
Slimming campaign.
I've been a terrible old fool.
No, it didn't involve the Fry Meister.
I've been a silly fool. I do apologise.
No, Big Fry was a campaign run by Fry's Chocolate. They did things like
very 70s,
Turkish
Frank.
Delight.
The Fry's chocolate, the green and
Fry's
blue.
chocolate cream.
Yeah, Fry's chocolate cream.
Can't argue
How
with
much
that.
do you think you get one of those for?
But
Al?
anyway,
You'd be paying them.
But
They'd be
they're
paying
80
you.
pence now.
They made them bigger. So it was called Big Fry.
Oh, yeah.
And
Great days.
there'd be the advert. I'll tell you what the advert would be people going Big Fry, big, and a man carrying an enormous, much bigger than the Big Fry bars, an enormous chocolate bar, and that man was George Lazenby.
Shut
Really?
up. Was this post-Bond?
This was pre-Bond. I think this was how he was spotted.
No.
He carried the Big Fry chocolate bar. But then my point was I was making is that these bars were bigger, so people bought. This is before the national obesity crisis, so you could have campaigns like this.
Yeah.
And people bought the Big Fry bars, and it was then revealed that they were actually lighter in weight
Uh-oh.
than the small fry.
Alan acting like it's Watergate.
They just bubbled. I
very
don't know.
stressed.
They'd pumped a bit of air into them or something. So it was.
Made less food cover more volume, like space.
Exactly.
Like popcorn,
Absolutely
you know?
Exactly
outrageous.
what they'd done. So don't be wary of the giant bars.
I can't believe that James Bond was discovered via an advert. I mean, it gives the 118 man hope.
It does.
It does. Yeah,
It's all hope.
if they
It's all
remake
hope.
Department S, he could get the Jason King role.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
167 has texted, and I like the start of this. Dear friends.
Good.
Not often an opening to a text,
Could
is
be
it?
a Quaker.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do they do that?
Well, they have the Friends, and what's it called? The Friends Hall or something it's called?
Right.
Oh, yes, the Friends Meeting House.
Friends Meeting.
That's the one. We got there in the end, didn't we?
Of
Team
course,
effort.
the Quakers with the chocolate connection.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was it? I don't know if we're allowed to mention them.
No,
but
if 18th
we know
century,
who we mean.
18th century British industry dominated by the
oh,
reformists.
they work hard, these people.
Bourneville, Wedgwood.
Oh, yes, I went to school with him.
Bourneville Wedgwood.
Yeah, Bourneville Wedgwood.
Oh,
Yeah. Posh, wasn't he? Dear
Jeremiah
friends,
Bourneville Wedgwood III.
the song Big Spender always makes me laugh. Love from Steffi.
Yeah.
Says she's currently recovering from surgery. Well, cheer up and well done.
And don't
well
listen
done
to
on-
Big Spender.
No,
Steffi,
don't,
can I
it's
just say,
the
well, that's
laughing.
Alan's worst song.
Wouldn't you like to have fun?
How about a few laughs? Laughs. I can show you a good time.
I don't know if we should do the whole song,
No.
but yes, it is.
Do we have
it
the money
is.
now?
But I enjoyed Alan cringing when we said Big
Alan
Spender.
cringing, he was very good in.
Yeah. GoldenEye.
Yeah, he was great in Golden.
Someone else can't listen to anything by the Scissor Sisters without crying with laughter.
Do you know I'd forgotten they existed, the Scissor Sisters? What about
I just know
that?
someone said that about you.
I know, but I'm sure people do say that.
I don't think so.
Um,
You're an NT.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that.
We need to talk about Wimbledon, Frank.
Oh,
Shall we?
Well, I think we should.
I mean, I've
you been
struggled.
watching?
I haven't been watching much because I had the women's. Well,
let's leave that there.
up until the other night, I had the Women's World Cup, and also it's the Cricket World Cup.
I've been enjoying Nick Kyrgios, though. Nick Kyrgios.
Oh,
I
he
believe
went
it's
out
pronounced.
the other day, didn't he?
Well, he went to the pub the night before.
Did he
I love a
really?
man who he went to the, what's it called, the Dog and Fox they all go to.
Oh, did they?
And when they asked him, I liked his post-match interview, and they said, oh, do you think maybe you shouldn't have gone to the pub beforehand? And what I love is they all talk about, I train, I diet. And he says, well, I don't train. I don't. He
Do
said,
you?
I don't show up every day. I don't have a coach. I don't do
Can I
gym.
hold my hand up? Should I know Nick Kyrgios?
Nick Kyrgios.
Yeah, he's
yes,
the bad boy of tennis.
Australian bad boy.
Did he kill the cat?
Kyrgios killed the cat. Very good.
He has a silent G in his name.
Is he the one we talked about a long time ago,
Yes.
probably last Wimbledon, and he was dating two women or
Yes,
something like
he's
that?
the bad boy, Frank.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's the millennials John McEnroe, except
Yes.
without the wit or
Yeah.
form,
Talent.
really.
Tennis talent. He's considerably behind John McEnroe, I think, in tennis ability.
But the big news is Andy's back,
Yes.
in a way.
yeah.
Yeah, Andy Murray. Andy Murray.
Andy
Murray.
Andy
Yeah.
Murray is his tribute act.
Yeah. He had a hip, didn't he? He had a bit of a hip.
He's had a hip.
Sir Andrew
Oh yeah, I
Murray.
forgot that.
Sir
Sam.
Andrew-
Sam, I call him.
When you said sir, then I thought you were just changing the subject in a very posh way. Sir.
Sir, I ask you if the hip of a professional sportsman is a suitable topic for breakfast conversation. Yeah, well, we'd have to go. We'd have to wear sort of Georgian outfits. Wouldn't
Yeah.
we? Like that guy. Who was the guy? What was he called last week?
Oh,
the,
fabulous character.
Matthew
Pinsent.
Not Matthew. Pinsent's the tailor.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zach Pinsent. That's what he was
Very
called.
well
Zach.
remembered, Frank.
Oh,
Do
he
you
lives
know?
on. He lives on in
Frank
my
has a
memory.
very special skill. You know, sometimes on Love Island, Frank, which
I've never seen.
I know.
I watched 10 minutes of Love Island. I'll be honest with you, I couldn't find the love in it.
I know
Not enough
there is
love in
there's zero love in it. However, there is one section when they have to demonstrate a special skill. Oh, I'm
Do
glad
they?
it's post watershed, but I think that could be one of your skills if you're on there, is remembering obscure names of people who've briefly been in the
Wow, right back at you.
Yeah.
Emily Dean, right back
You
at you.
both know who Mary Bale is off the top of your heads, don't you? You
Yeah,
don't have to
totally.
think about it.
Yeah.
You're right there.
As there's no love in Love Island that I've seen,
No.
is it an island? Or is that part of it true? I mean, I don't
yeah.
want to find
It's
out.
not.
Oh, no, it's not an island.
It's not
So
an
it's
island.
not. There is neither love nor is it an island. What is it? An isthmus?
What do they just call
Is
it?
it an isthmus? That's my request.
It's a resort in Magaluf, I believe.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. I don't know if it's there, but it's in the Spain area.
So it's not an island.
I don't believe it is an island. I mean, I
Not love
trust
nor island.
the Gen Zers in the room are both shaking their heads vigorously.
What happened to viewers' trust when you can't claim something if it isn't actually true?
Well, that
Think we
died
could
out
get it?
many years
what
ago.
if I got it closed down, went to court?
Went to court.
Yeah, I've been told.
Frank Skinner outside the Old Bailey. Would you wear your what I call court case sunglasses?
Imagine when they brought out the promontory precedent from some case in 1861 when something claimed to be an island and was actually a promontory. Wow, that'd be a moment for me. Your witness, Mr. Baxter. I'd really enjoy that. I imagine they're all called Baxter. If you dig deep enough.
I imagine Caroline Flack in a courtwear crying.
Yeah, exactly. Being dragged into the thing. Yeah, you have and the judge saying, "Do have a drink of water, Miss Flack, if you're upset." Who is Gasser?
This is Frank Skinner. This is
Absolute Radio.
082 has just schooled me in some Love Island.
Been schooled?
info. Yeah.
Finally.
Gold.
It's in Mallorca, as any fool know.
Oh.
Fool is
all
spelled
right.
Fule and no is spelled Kno. So
Yeah,
we've both got
082.
different sets of knowledge.
Physician, heal thyself.
Yours is Love Island, mine is spellings.
Well, that might be.
It might be. I think it might be a youth speak.
How it's
Yeah.
done now.
Yeah, that's how the Love Islanders speak.
Anyway,
Text.
we weren't really trying to discuss Love Island, were we? We were trying to get
No.
onto
Did you get scorched?
ye old Andy Murray.
I got scorched.
Oh well. I didn't know where it was, but I'm
Sorry I got it wrong.
horrified to hear that it contains neither love nor is it based on an island.
Yeah.
I mean, let's have a little bit of veracity.
I suppose if they went with the truth, like Lost and Mallorca,
Yeah.
It's-
No, that
Lost
sounds
Mallorca.
like an 80s
Yeah, it's
soap.
not as,
That sounds like El Dorado.
They could
it's
call
not
it-
alluring as
That
a
was El
television
Dorado,
show.
They
isn't
could
actually.
call it Paradise Lost.
That's too
That-
good. That is too good.
Too good, okay.
And you know what? They absolutely would love that reference.
Yeah, they're not
would.
going to get the reference.
Then I
man.
think that the Love Island demographic tends to be a huge.
They love all things Miltonic.
They love a Milton.
Yeah.
So Andy Murray has said in interviews that one of the ways that he's fixing his back or his hip,
His
he
hip.
had hip surgery, and
Oh, well,
he's-
it wasn't that hip.
it was well, it was a bit hip hop actually because he's been breakdancing.
Well, he had a hip hop.
He had a hip hop,
And now he's doing-
hip hop.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, breakdance.
Breakdancing.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Breakdancing, I think of. No, this could be my, silly old white man sensibilities.
Yeah.
I think of it more as an upper body thing.
The breakdance.
Aren't they a lot of the time upside down and on their heads? And I
Well,
don't.
there's so many types, you see. There's
It'd
about
been
4 or
better
5
with-
different.
Wouldn't he have been happier with a lambada for a hip?
Oh,
Well, not if
maybe.
he's doing the worm. I mean, there's a lot of hip action in the worm.
Oh, yeah. That's...
And the
You
floor
see?
stuff, I think they generate a lot of power from the hips for the
But
spinning.
the
I think-
lambada is, the
is.
hips become as water. I
Yes,
mean, they are.
you're right. Wouldn't
Yeah.
be good for
I
him.
told you, someone told me a serious tip for the lambada. A person involved in dance said, imagine you have a pencil up your bottom, pointing outwards, and that you're drawing a figure 8 with that
Yeah.
pencil, and you can do the lambada.
It's
And I've
also-
used that.
It's why you lost your job in the stationery shop,
It
isn't
was. It was. That one at the sign making shop, yeah. But, I was doing 2 signs at the same time. I should have been. I was saving them money, ultimately.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
And can I officially say, I've been schooled. I was schooled as regarding the location of Love Island,
Yes.
and the phrase "any fool know" was used, and then I schooled him on spelling, and now I've been schooled twice because apparently it is a private eye in joke.
Yeah.
Someone thinks it might be from the oldie. Someone called
Molesworth.
Nigel Molesworth. I don't
Yeah.
know who that is, but I can only apologise a second time to 082.
Oh, God.
Yeah. All I would say on this is
I mean, it's a terrible start to our relationship.
Yeah.
I think I would rather have a friend who couldn't spell than a friend who quoted private jokes from Private Eye. But, I don't have any friends.
Frank's put himself in Team Emily there. That's good.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love it when he does that.
Can I say that if I had to pick any public figure who I could imagine is physically capable of breakdancing, being emotionally capable of it, I would have put Andy Murray well down the list. He doesn't.
Oh, really?
He just seems like. Can you imagine him spinning on the floor going, it's like that, and that's the way it is.
said
It's like
this-
that. It's just the most on-hip hop person on the planet, isn't it?
He has so much stick. People always say that he's miserable.
Not
and I've
miserable.
said this for years.
Not miserable, but he's like
Okay,
you.
Al.
He's not a joiner in.
It's not that he's miserable.
Hey, big
He's
spender.
Scottish and he plays a summer sport. He's so out of his comfort zone.
All right, dear.
It's
all right.
not fair.
It's like that. That's the way. I mean,
He's funny.
Yeah.
well,
He's definitely.
look, I like Andy Murray.
I like
Also,
Andy Murray.
that you
I
like,
like
it.
him, but I can't picture him really entering into the spirit of
The
breakdance.
breakdancing
Well, I'm with you on that.
out
I'm with
was
you on that.
originally inspired by the martials,
Yeah.
Who?
I believe, the martial arts. That's where it
Is that
came from.
really?
Yes, it was in the Bronx in the 70s, I
I
think.
thought
Yeah,
it came
all
from
that
the
stuff.
waltzers.
No, it was inspired by the martial arts, the kung
Well,
fu's,
that I didn't know.
street gangs.
Of course, the Scottish breakdancing tradition must be minimal. Because
yeah.
the kilt element turns it into a whole different
Yeah, it
spectacle.
gets a bit X-rated.
He
It
said
does.
during that interview, which I watched, he said he also was asked about his favourite tennis player and his tennis heroes, and he was a Andre Agassi boy. Tells
he?
you a lot about someone's age, the favourite tennis hero.
Right.
So I won't be going there. He
Yeah.
he said,
Mine's Fred Perry.
Pan.
Oh,
"You both got there."
mine probably would be Rod Laver, the
Would it?
Australian
Would it?
left-hander
Good
who
shout.
was
If I'm
going back a bit.
cool, mine would be, well, it was Stefan Edberg. You may remember when I was a
Yeah.
child,
Very
I held
cool.
an imaginary press conference
Some very
announcing
cool
our wedding.
Adidas tops.
Wow.
That was my game I used to play. Everyone else played with their dolls, and I held an imaginary press conference, which I made my family watch. I was getting married, announcing my wedding to him.
I
That
did
is
love,
nice.
on my female one would have been Anne Jones, or as she became Anne Hayden Jones.
Oh, did
Lovely.
she?
Who was a West Brom fan. I've seen her at
No
the Albion
way.
a few times, and
Lovely.
also won the women's single. Because really, up until Andy Murray, throughout my entire long life, the British men have been rubbish. It's only been the women who ever won anything.
So,
Tough for Tim
He
Henman if
said-
he's listening today.
Well, what did he win?
I didn't say he won.
Come on,
But
Tim.
he wasn't a terrible tennis player
No.
either.
I think there must have been some point towards the end when somebody went, "Come on, Tim." No, I mean, honestly, can you just come on? Tim, come on. But never. But much loved, and he's got a hill named after him. How many
Yeah.
of us can say that?
and Murray Mound.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay. Come on.
must have took him.
Okay, everybody.
I took a belting during the breakdancing.
God.
Frank Skinner.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
Oh, 478 once met Anne Hayden Jones at Lewis's in Birmingham.
Lovely.
My grandmother had taken me to their Christmas grotto. She was
Good shout.
delightful. That's Helen.
Yeah,
in
she's very nice indeed.
Solihull.
And Sue Barker is very nice.
Producers laughing at the way I pronounce
Sue
Solihull.
Barker, I think she was rated like number 2 in the world when she was about 16.
She gets some good gigs
Yeah.
now, interviewing McEnroe. the
She
other
was.
day.
The girl now, the 15-year-old girl that everyone's talking about. Well, I've got to admit, I was watching her on the telly and I switched it off because I thought, well, that game's over. I know where that's
Did you?
going. And then she won it.
Right.
Oh, I'll know that. Yeah, so Sue Barker was the sort of, the her of her day.
Yeah.
Who was your tennis player? I mean, mine was a bit Becker as well, Frank.
Becker for me.
Were you Becker?
Oh, turning up at 17 and then diving around and jumping over the necks. He couldn't stop running and stuff. Absolutely amazing.
Okay.
I am. You may know this is one of my a thing that is constantly every year I think about this at Wimbledon. That moment, and this year you'll know why it's prevalent. That moment when you want a doubles partner and you have to go and ask someone.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And there is often a tremendous disparity between. So I suppose not so much with, and he's a former champion and all that, Andy Murray, but
Yeah.
how would you like to make the phone call to Serena Williams saying, do you fancy doing mixed doubles with me?
Yeah.
How do
Who
you
is worthy of that phone
How
call?
do you start it off? Do they start with a WhatsApp message?
I think they text each
with an
other.
emoji saying,
think
"How
they
you
text-
doing?"
Yeah, I think so.
It makes me think of when I wrote to Alan Bennett asking if he wanted to write a play with me. I mean, it's
This is-
got that level of
And what if
potential.
what if Serena had said, "No, you're all right"?
All the
Thanks.
3 tellers. I'll tell you about the 3
You
tellers.
did tell me about the 3 tellers.
When I was
yeah.
going to go on tour with 2 other comics, and we did 40-minute seats, and it's called the 3 Tellers.
Uh-huh.
And then you realise that it's quite difficult to ask someone if they want to come on tour with you, because
Right.
A, they might think that you're not worthy, and
Yeah.
B, they might despise you as an individual.
But dislike your art as well.
Is it like,
It's all of
they
that.
should have like a Tinder thing for doubles and mixed doubles, so you just swipe through.
I know, but
for your,
Serena,
for your
that
match.
to
you
me,
see, you just call it match.
but that,
Match.
Yeah,
I
you
like
get
it.
Match point.
Clever.
I like it.
What do we call it?
Or he could call it break point because of his crazy breakdancing
Yeah,
obsession.
yeah.
But of all the people, if I'm going to do a doubles, of all the people, I'd be nervous about calling it Serena.
I don't think you
You
will be
reckon?
doing the doubles.
No, I probably. What if I called her?
Also, you've built up your resilience by asking Alan Bennett to ride with you. So
Exactly. My
You've got
best
your eye in
chance
now for a
my best-
knockback.
My only chance is to call Alan Bennett and ask him to do the doubles.
Yeah.
Now that I would want to be absolutely centre. Imagine you and Alan Bennett centre court.
Oh, I'd
Excellent.
love it. If he was he turned out to be like a McEnroe figure. Do you honestly believe that ball was within the line, umpire?
Oh dear. Yeah, I think that must be very nerve-wracking, doing the ask.
Oh, God.
I think he's done well with Serena.
Oh, God, also.
Oh, he's
I
done
mean,
great.
come on, let's say.
Well, you couldn't do any better, really, could
No,
you?
they're a dream
He's done.
team.
Well, she's had the injuries too. They bonded over their injuries.
They
Maybe.
probably twerk
Yeah.
for
For rehab.
Yeah, exactly.
Twerk for rehab.
Because let's face it, the fist bump has been overused. I think every time they win a point,
Maybe a bit of flossing.
Yeah.
all that
I'll
sort
tell you
of
what
stuff.
I learned from reading this story, which shocked me to the core. The two champions, male and female singles, no longer dance at the Wimbledon ball.
What?
I thought that was absolute. And there's a bit from Andy Murray where he said, "Well, I'm after we both won Wimbledon, but happily you don't have to dance anymore." And I thought, what? So that stopped. You're a tennis correspondent, Sarah.
I didn't know that.
That what? I
Do you
don't
know
even
that was
know
the
what
bit?
dance they did.
Well-
Did they do the same dance every year?
I think it was
It wasn't some Paso Doble.
the rumba.
I hope it wasn't a pass. I always look forward to that more than anything, as you know, Frank. Was the
Let's
tennis
do
players
the
looking
times or- time
slightly awkward in the the sort of young musician of the year dress, looking uncomfortable.
Well, the way athletes look fabulous in sports clothes,
and
but never quite as good in what I'd call sort of human being clothes.
no.
Yeah, I'm not sure of footballers actually, but I mean the rugby players. I mean that's
Oh,
just
yeah.
ridiculous. That's like when you see Ben Grimm of the Fantastic Four in a suit. Like they have a bit where he's wearing black ties and events.
Frank, I know we're drawing to a close, but I'd just like to say before we go, 749.
I'm glad that you've brought this up.
Oh, no,
'cause
it's just a nice
good-
friend for you, Al.
it's a
Al's
very
finally
good
met a
text
lovely
message.
friend through the show.
Steve from Kent has just crossed the line right at the finish of the show. I ate a yoghurt that was 6 months out of date. It's a bit fizzy, but I finished it. Also had 2 eggs on Monday that were labelled BB 28th of April. That's best before.
Yeah.
28th of April. And
Can
here
I
he is
say-
texting us on Saturday.
Is he aware of the fact that if you put them in water and they float, they're
I'm
off?
sure he is.
Okay.
I'm certain
Yeah.
he is.
But what about eggs as
He
well?
seems
I
untroubled.
think that also works for eggs.
All right, it's mainly a yoghurt tip.
I hope you're very happy together, Al.
I would like to thank you for listening to us this week. And you know what? If the good Lord spares us and the creeks don't rise, we'll be back again this time next week. Now, get out.
This is Frank Skinner. This is
Absolute Radio.